Hello everyone, this is Yashashwini of grade 10. I'm here to recite the Ball poem of NCERT class 10. The Ball poem was written by the poet John Berryman. He is an American poet and scholar. Here the poet describes the grief of a young boy over the loss of his ball. He even deals with the undertone of responsibility over loss and how a person feels when he loses his loved possession. He talks about how a person must be strong, move on in reality and accept it. This poem doesn't have a rhyming scheme, but it is written in a free verse. The poem goes on like this. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merely bouncing down the street and then merely over. There it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. The explanation goes on like this. The poet introduces the young boy and his ball. For the very first time in his young life, the boy had learned a very big lesson. That is, to bear the grief of loss of the ball. Here, the boy does not represent a materialistic thing, but the boy's childhood memories and his young innocence. The boy has lost his ball and saw it bouncing down the street and going into the water. The poet refrains himself from consoling the boy by providing him another ball. The next stanza goes on like this. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy, as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down at his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I will not intrude on him. A dime, another ball. Goes on like this. The boy sees the ball going into the water as we discussed before. Now the boy stands stiff with grief and just stares into the water. His young childhood memories would not return back. This is because he believed that the ball went and along with it, his childhood memories and the moments all are gone now. Poet himself says that he would not give him money or provide the boy money just because he understood the grief of a boy as he longs for the same ball that he wanted just because of the attachment that he has with it. The next stanza goes on like this. He senses the first responsibility in the world of possessions. People will take balls and balls will be lost, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. The explanation goes on like this. The poet tells us the boy has now sensed his first responsibility. The poet also informs us that how one feels after losing one's old loved possession. Here, money cannot buy everything. If you just lose something which is immaterial and really matters to you, money cannot bring them back. Then last stanza goes on like this. He's learning well behind his desperate eyes, the epistemology of loss, how to stand up knowing what every man must know one day and most know many days how to stand up. The explanation is that the poet says that the boy is now learning well behind his desperate eyes how the loss of his ball is. Bear the grief of loss of possession after a loss of his ball. Everybody must stand up in such losses just like the boy, and one day everyone will learn how to take up the responsibility over the loss and bear the grief and understand the true meaning of life.